Welcome to the Q.A.C. Team podcast, where we dive deep into the journeys of inspiring business owners, bringing you insights and challenges from the entrepreneurs who are shaping our world. Join us as we explore their paths to success. Now here's your host, Charles Luttrell.
Good afternoon, listeners. As both a motivational speaker and a self-empowerment coach, Melissa teaches aspiring entrepreneurs the skills to chase their dreams and succeed fearlessly. Melissa, welcome to the Q.A.C. Team podcast. How are you today?
Thank you. I am well. And yourself?
I'm hanging in there. See, I'm on the East Coast and you're on the West Coast, correct?
Correct. We learned that this morning.
We sure did. Well, welcome. I'm thankful for the time that you're going to give me here today to interview you. Let's go ahead and get started and tell our audience a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Yeah. So I'm a self-empowerment coach, and I work specifically with aspiring entrepreneurs who want to build purpose-driven businesses. But, they're sitting at home right now going, I really enjoy doing this thing. I have a passion and I'm really good at it, but I can't go into business for myself because fill in the blank, right? I don't have enough money. Yes, exactly. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough experience. I'm not good enough. Everybody else is already doing this. There's all these lies we tell ourselves. And so I help people go from that place to being a business owner, an LLC entrepreneur, poised to walk into hopefully making six figures or more with what they do.
Right.
I teach mindset, but I also teach business strategy, marketing, how to go into business when you are flat broke and you just think that, hey, I can't leave my 9 to 5 because I don't have any money to start my business. Use your income from your 9 to 5 to start your business. You can start small. So, I work with, people who just have all these limiting beliefs and ideas that they can't go out and do what they want to do. And then my greater mission from that is I want to help launch as many purpose-driven businesses as I can, because I would like to leverage those businesses to team them up on global scale projects for humanity. So, if I'm launching 100 businesses a year, which is honestly my goal, minimum, right? And I'm not launching them, they are, right? But I'm providing them the roadmap to do that. Then when I come back 10 years from now, I have thousands of businesses that I can go to and say, hey, listen, I'm doing this project and I think your business would be amazing on this project. Can you lend some time to it? And so that's my greater mission. And so that's kind of what I do in a nutshell.
And that's great. What a great mission. I really like it. Why did you decide to be a business owner? What drove you to do this?
I am a highly creative person. I'm neurodivergent. I'm autistic and ADHD, and I don't think inside of a box. I don't even own a box. So it was always very hard for me to conform to other established. Like, I'm a really hard worker. I'm really intelligent, but I wanted to do things my way, and I wanted to be creative, and I wanted to follow my own passion. And I realized that going to the beat of someone else's drum while I could make myself do it did not make me happy. And, the thing that made me the happiest was being able to control my own life and my own decisions and my own outcome and my own destiny. Office politics are miserable, right? I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
If I have an argument with my boss, that's me. I'm my boss. And sometimes I do have an argument with her and she usually wins. But,
right.
but it was this need to be autonomous. Right? This need to be able to just stop donating my time and my life for someone else's profit that I got change from.
Yeah. And I think you said it best too, as being an entrepreneur, there really is no box, right? You have to really be outside that box to really find your way and to be successful.
100%.
Right? Yeah.
There is one box. There is one box that I do teach about, and that is called your box of awesome. And that is all the little tools and hidden talents and quirky things that you like and whatever. And each of those makes up an ingredient that you can use in your entrepreneurship, right? So, and even our struggles, quote unquote, can become our strengths. I have OCD. Let me tell you, I'm an extremely organized business person. So I have a huge eye for detail. So, when you're making decisions and you see challenges, don't see challenges. See how those challenges can help you. Right.
Right.
So,
Yeah, turn the negative into the positive. Absolutely.
100%,
Yeah.
100%, because your mindset is everything. If you don't get up and believe in yourself, nobody else is going to. If you,
Yeah.
I will tell you a secret. It's not a big secret, but it's a secret all the same. I'm a keynote speaker and I've stepped on stages and spoken in front of people. But do you know that the first speech I was ever given before I stepped my foot on a stage was a keynote speech?
Mhm.
Why? Because I led in that meeting with the attitude I already was a keynote speaker.
That's great.
I never had to say the words because they took me at the value. They offered me the keynote speech.
Uh-huh.
They slid into my DMs on LinkedIn and said, "Will you speak for us?" But
Right.
because my presence on LinkedIn, because my presence in the world, because I own who I am and what I do and have complete confidence in it, I was taken at face value.
Right.
And that's no different for anybody else. Anyone can do that if they have the mindset and they understand how the process works. And I do.
The mind is definitely a great place to be if you allow it to really work for you.
Yes,
You
and
know?
it can also be a powerful enemy and a powerful
Yes.
stopper.
Yes.
Fear is my program and my podcast and my blog and all that and the book I'm working on. It's called the fearlessness frequency. Because we're all kind of vibrating at a frequency, right, based on our energy. And
Absolutely.
when you operate in the fearlessness frequency, which is what I teach, then you can achieve anything that seems impossible because nothing, it's only impossible because it hasn't been done yet.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Because someone at some point in time, the light bulb was impossible,
Yeah. Absolutely.
right?
Yep. Everything was an idea, a thought before it became a thing.
100%. And poor Thomas
Yep.
Edison had 8,000 failures at the light bulb, 8,000
Yeah.
before he actually was able to have the light bulb. And I'll tell you, the only failure I believe in is not starting or quitting.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
agree.
know,
Yep.
Einstein said if you don't make mistakes, it's because you haven't tried anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Mistakes lead us to that one thing that drives us to success.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I failed so many times at things, but I don't consider them failures. I consider them learning experiences and
Learning
setbacks.
lessons. Yeah, absolutely. I'm there with you. You got to learn from your mistakes, man. Where'd you go wrong? And
Right.
failures and mistakes don't mean they were failures and mistakes. Something else
No.
was there for us, a bigger thing that we're
Right.
looking for. A lot of people don't really see that.
Oh my gosh, yes. And to
So,
take something like, I'll give you a perfect example. When I first started working on my company, I'd already been coaching for over a decade, but I had been coaching in corporate sectors. And more recently, I had been working with developmentally delayed and autistic foster children, the loves of my lives. But I had a 5-year plan to go into business for myself. And I was working on my business on the side of my 9 to 5, just like I advise my clients to do. But my boss was not a great person, and she got very jealous of my success, and she actually wrongfully terminated me.
mm,
Um, that's
wow.
okay because it was a very expensive mistake for her, and it really helped me fund my business. And that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Because the universe said, "Hey, guess what? I know you have a 5-year plan, but the universe needs you right now.
Yeah.
So
That,
I'm going to make this huge upheaval in your life, and you're going to have no choice but to
yeah.
go out." But I did have a choice, right? I had a choice to either go get another job and continue to just wish I could do what I did, or to take what little money I had on unemployment, stick it into my business, and make it what it is now.
Right. And, it's kind of interesting when you start talking about it, because what a segue great into my next question would be, why did you choose your industry? So what you're talking about is just segueing right into, my next
Yeah.
question is, tell us a little bit about, why did you choose the industry? What drove you to do what you're doing right now? You know?
Well, I'll tell you, because I've always been an entrepreneur. That part was kind of easy. My first business was a dog walking service when I was 13, so I could buy
Very
Taco Bell and
cool.
ice cream for my friends,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah. And so I've always had my father was an entrepreneur, his brother was an entrepreneur, his parents were entrepreneurs. It's in my blood. But
Mhm.
also, why I chose what I specifically do, I grew up really poor in a place that was really dangerous with a very bad mom. Okay. And I have faced undiagnosed ADHD, autism, and OCD till I was almost 30 years old. I had no clue. So I had to navigate all these challenges in my life,
Yeah.
both both ones that I could see and ones that I could not even realize.
Yeah.
And, when I was 17, I lived in Kansas City and I wanted to move to Los Angeles. I had been out here to visit and I wanted to move here, and everyone was like, you can't do it. It's too expensive and this and that. And everyone wanted to say what I could and couldn't do. And I've just never been the person to listen to that.
And
And
you hit that right. Everybody always tells us what we can't do, and nobody ever backs us on what we could do.
right,
Right.
100%. And that in and of itself fosters the poor mindset that most people are stuck in unrealizingly. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but I never listened to that because like I said, I've never had a box. You can't tell me what to do. I've always been painfully defiant. My poor parents.
Poor parents.
But realizing that after I got diagnosed with autism, ADHD, and all that, and I realized on paper what all the challenges I actually have overcome without even knowing what I was overcoming, I realized that it was my place in life to help other people do that.
Yeah. Right.
And so I've been on the couch fear scrolling. And what I mean by that is that you're scrolling through and in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I really wish I could start this business and do this thing, but I'm not good enough. I don't have the degrees. I don't know the people. All the things we tell ourselves. And I spent 10 years telling myself that.
Yeah.
10
Again,
years.
right? We get in our head, right? With the things that we can't do, the things we tell
Yes.
ourselves that we're not able to do. Well, because of this, because of that, I'm not good enough, or I'm not going to be able to do
100%.
that. It's too hard.
And do you know, right. And do you know, when I started taking actionable steps, tiny ones, just, hey, I thought of a company name. I'm going to reserve that website, right? $11 a month. Okay. Not a huge business investment. But when I started making those tiny things, then I would get a new idea and then I would do something else. And then I would get a new idea and I would do something else. And then I would learn, then I would hit a bridge. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Let me go learn how.
Right.
Right. And so little by little, just taking those actionable steps, I went from sitting around wishing for 10 years to having a successful business in 6 months.
That's great.
Yeah. And that's what I want to give people. I want them to know that it doesn't matter if you're disabled. It doesn't matter if you're poor. It doesn't matter if you have health issues. It doesn't matter if, I've faced cancer, I've had surgeries. I mean, there just isn't a challenge that I haven't been faced with just about. And the difference is, do you back down? Do you want it bad enough?
Right. How bad do you want it? Yep.
Yeah. And if you want it bad enough, I can help you get it.
Yeah, if you want it bad
you
enough,
are
you will find a
capable.
way. Yeah, and you are capable. Right. Absolutely. I tell myself that every day.
Yeah.
Now,
You have to. You have to be your own biggest cheerleader.
I'm going to make it. I got to figure this out. I'm going to make
it.
it.
Yes. And listen, as a seasoned entrepreneur, as a professional who teaches this mindset every day, even I have my moments of weakness.
Yeah,
even I have those times where I'm like, am I really qualified to be teaching this to people? But then I sit back and I look at all my accomplishments and I'm like, yes, I am.
Right.
But sometimes you have to take that moment and say to yourself, you're okay. You're good enough.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, it's very cool because you talked about, some of the struggles that you faced growing up and through your life, what you've been through.
Right.
So tell us about what were some of the challenges you faced getting this off the ground and getting started and getting this business where it is today.
Oh, lots of learning curves, right?
Yeah.
Because while I enjoy the visuals of marketing, I'm really good at putting together like images for marketing and stuff. It took me so much time to figure out, how to actually market what I do, right? And how to leverage the tools that are out there that don't cost money, right? Let me tell you, anybody in business right now who's not learning AI, all right, that might be my only third qualification for failure.
Yeah.
I'm completely kidding, but it has completely changed the way I do so much. And, just the only advice I can give is learn, right?
Yeah.
Learn what you don't know. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and that's okay too. But if you keep, surrounding yourself with people and things that are focused on what you're focused on, you're going to learn things you didn't know you didn't know.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. And one thing leads to another. We always find that.
Gosh, yes, and networking and all of it,
When you're digging and searching, and one thing you're searching for something, that leads to something else. And next thing you know, that's what I was looking for. There it is.
Yeah, well, and absolutely. And entrepreneurs these days are incredibly lucky in the fact that You can be playing a game on your phone, taking 5 minutes for yourself. Guess what? There's an ad that somebody wants to do something for your business. And now you've arranged a meeting to learn what they can do for your business. Maybe you can't afford what they do for your business in that particular moment. Doesn't mean you can't learn what they think they can do for you and do it for yourself until you can afford someone to do it for you. Because obviously that's the dream, right? We don't want to be working in our business forever. We want to make enough money that we can, have a staff. I have a couple of marketing guys on my team, and I have, a small group of people that aren't wildly expensive, right? Because I'm trying to make money, not spend money.
Right. Absolutely.
you know,
And you said it best, right? Because the goal is like, I don't know if you read the book by Michael Gerber, The E-Myth.
I'm not sure I've read that.
I highly recommend that to anybody.
Nice.
Anybody that talks about books online about business and entrepreneur, I highly recommend that book.
Excellent. I will check it out.
Yes, please do, because Michael Gerber says it best. The goal is to work on your business, not in it. Because if we
100%, and I feel like I've heard that so many places from other entrepreneurs as well, but I think it's anyone who has a job understands that feeling, right? But at the end of the day, though, one big piece of advice I can give entrepreneurs is the first few months, don't get disheartened by what you expect your progress to be versus what it really is, because any progress is progress.
Right.
And it's okay if it takes you 10 years to get something done, if that's your comfort level. Me, I'm not for that. I want to go head on 100 miles an hour towards everything I want to do, but not everybody feels that way. Not everyone has that mindset. Not everyone has that type of goal, right? And I'm big, I'm big on individualizing my clients. I do group coaching, which is cool because, then you get the support system of other people who are, going through the same journey with you. But, it's really important to also individualize with everyone, and so that they're really getting the full maximum potential out of their growth ability,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, that's interesting because, I think, if you talk about people who you have different expectations of your business and what you're trying to accomplish, like I never thought my second year into this new way of doing my business that I would have 75 podcasts,
Yeah, that's a lot of podcasts, dude. I'm about to launch one next month. So I don't know about
right. I never thought I'd have 75 episodes and growing. It's amazing. I love
it is amazing. And doesn't that feel good? It's like having a baby and raising it.
Yes. I've done 2 of those.
Yeah, no, I've got one that'll be 18 this year. I'm feeling pretty old about it. But yeah, no, it is. It's like raising a baby and watching it grow and putting your heart and soul into it. And the coolest part is every time I think my business is amazing, I find something to make it better.
Yeah. And the cool thing is the cool thing is I'm so close to the monetization for the podcast. I'm loving it. I'm just like, I'm itching.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm excited for you for that, because that's huge.
It is huge.
And
even if it's only pennies or nickels or dimes.
No, but it's progress. It's progress. And it's more pennies and nickels and dimes than your business had a minute ago.
You got it. Absolutely, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that people's biggest trip that holds them up is their expectations and their idea of what success is.
Yeah.
Because when your expectations are not aligned with reality, not to say that you can't have huge expectations. Look at what I'm doing. I'm literally planning to change the world.
Yeah.
But I also know I can't do that in 5 minutes. I also know that it's small steps and measurable impact, right? So, but let's say you had a jar and you wanted to fill that jar with sand, and you only could find a grain a day. It might take 100 years, but you will, if you always consistently put 1 grain in every day, you will fill that jar.
Eventually,
and it's no different in business.
Yeah.
And people go out there and be like, oh, well, I didn't get any likes on my post, or I didn't get any people who wanted to buy my product from this engagement. Well, maybe not today.
Right.
So figure out why that is. Where do you think, put yourself in your customer's shoes. What are they
Absolutely.
looking for? What do they need?
Right.
Solve a
True.
problem and you'll make money. But if you're chasing money, you'll never find it.
Right. And I think too, a lot of problems that young entrepreneurs have is that if it doesn't happen overnight, then it's not going to work.
Oh, yeah. Then they're just defeated and they give up. And it's like,
Yeah.
you can't do that because you know how many sacrifices I've had to make? I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, I had knocked out my 3 front teeth. I didn't have the money to fix it or go to the dentist to get implants. And, here I had keynote speeches coming and I could have just thrown in the towel. I could have been like, well, I don't have teeth. I don't have money. I'll go get a job and just call it a day.
Right.
But you know what? I sat there and I told my mom, I said, listen, I said, if I have to go on stage toothless, then I will. I will tell people, hey, listen, if you can get past the vanity of this, I chose to spend money to be here to change your life instead of fix my teeth.
Right.
Because that's how dedicated I am to what I do.
And
And if you
that's
are not that
amazing.
dedicated, thank you.
That
If
is
you and I
amazing.
meant it too, but thank God, the universe said, I don't want to do that to you. And suddenly I was provided with what I needed.
Yeah.
And now my teeth are amazing. But
Yeah.
but
That's
but but at the time it was a huge setback emotionally. I couldn't take meetings. Can't coach them. So it doesn't matter
yeah.
what kind of setback you face. What I chose to do at that time is I'm going to focus on the back end of my business. I'm going to work more on my coaching program. I'm going to work more on my blog and my marketing and I'm going to do things that aren't frontward facing right now, but I'm not giving up.
Right. That's so key, not to give up,
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, one last final question. What are your expectations for your business in the next year or two? What are you hoping to accomplish?
I mean, obviously the number one goal is to help as many people as I can. Right. I mean, I have classes launching very soon because I only run 2 a year. My next class will be September 1st, I believe. And so my goal is just to help as many people as I can launch these businesses that make them happy so they can have fulfilling, beautiful lives like I have. I'm not worried about the financial aspect of it because that's not what I do. You know what I mean? Like, obviously I need to live and eat, and I appreciate having the universe provide that for me. But as long as I have that, I don't have lofty financial goals. Obviously, I have ideas of where I'm projected to earn, and I, am working hard to do that. But my number one focus is just helping people. And I think that if you follow your passion and your purpose-driven passion, right, then the money will follow, and you don't really need to worry about that aspect of it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, you hit it the best is that so many people focus on the dollar and not what they're trying to accomplish. And when you focus
And
on that dollar, you won't be
yeah,
that successful because you're chasing the
right.
dollar, not the dream.
100%, 100%. And you know what? You know how many meetings I've taken where people are like, I can do this for your company and I can do that for your company. But you know what I do in that state? I say, okay, I now have a goal. I now have to come up with $10,000, because this is something I now want. This is now part of my goal. The
Yeah.
key to goal achievement is just keeping your goal in the forefront of your mind all the time and making decisions that line up with it.
Yeah.
You know,
That is
like,
so
hey,
true.
friend calls you up, hey, we're all going fishing and we're going to rent a cabin and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. And you might be like, yeah, I want to go. But then you think to yourself, well, I have like $500 extra to spend this month. Do I want to put that into my company or do I want to go spend one day at the lake? These are the choices that we're presented with
Exactly.
in order. And is
Choices
if
we
you're
have to
always
make. Yep.
making, yeah, if you're always making choices aligned with your greater goal, and self-care is part of that. Please go to the
Yeah.
lake. I'm saying don't punish yourself, but I'm saying, like,
Don't
if you're
punish
always,
yourself, right?
yeah, don't punish yourself. Obviously, self-care is number one. You can't give the whole of something you only have half of.
Right.
But
That is so
but
true.
at the same time, understand that sacrifices are real and necessary for what you want. And it depends on, it. I always think about it as I look 10 to 20 years in the future at what I hope to achieve based on these decisions. And that's my reward versus the short-term reward that I can get
Yeah.
right then.
Right.
Just keep your eye on the prize.
Absolutely. Yep.
But
So
again,
how do
don't
we
punish yourself.
Absolutely, right? Exactly. Don't punish yourself, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how does our audience contact you and reach out to you?
So they can find me on my website, which is self, CELLF, so like a cell in our body, selfawareness.com. And the reason that it's called the Self Awareness Project is, we're each a cell in the greater organism, right? And if we're not
We
living
are.
in our truth, living our most authentic lives, and following our purpose and our passion, we're kind of a cancerous cell, right? And if there's so many of us out there doing that, we are creating larger tumors in the greater organism, right? Everyone's trying to jump on top and fix all the solutions from the outside, social injustices, government problems, economic problems, all these things. But the thing is if every single person focuses on their self, we can, you know, create all that we need without having to be attached to the system.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
1000%.
so that is where the term self-awareness project came from, because, a big part of my method is self-awareness, because you have to, really harness yourself as a tool to succeed. And so they can find me at selfawareness.com. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at self-awareness. I think the TikTok is at self-awareness project, but the rest are at self-awareness.
Gotcha.
Yeah, please find me, even if you just want to chit chat about what you think you might want to do.
Yeah.
I love talking to people, and even if they don't choose to work with me, I hope that they get something out of, our conversation that helps them have an aha moment. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Right. Absolutely. And before we wrap up here, what's one thought you want to leave the audience with?
You can do it. That's it. You can do it.
Yeah.
Like, just if you're sitting at home right now and you've got that anxiety inside you that, I used to be scared to dream. I used to be so scared to succeed. I was afraid of success, which is, most people are afraid of failure. I was afraid to succeed. I was like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of attention. That's a lot of accountability. That's a lot. Right. And so it doesn't matter what your fear is, whether you don't think you're good enough or you don't have enough money or whatever the lie is you're telling yourself, it's a lie.
Yeah.
And the minute that you change your mind, you change your life.
Yeah. That's such four powerful words, friend. You can do it.
Yeah.
You know, powerful. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for taking the time to come on an interview and tell us about your business. It's been
Yeah.
very, very,
I
I
have
love
really
what
enjoyed
you're
speaking
doing.
with you.
Yeah. Thank you. And likewise, it's just, you know, I looking over your website and reading, it was just, it hit me that how powerful your message is. And, I can't wait to speak with you outside of this
Thank
conversation,
you.
really talk
Yeah.
and really push forward and help each other succeed.
Yes. There's fireworks happening right now. I was like, what is that sound? It is definitely 4th of July almost.
It is tell me it's almost 4th of July. That's great. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for coming on. I had a wonderful time.
Absolutely. And thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I enjoy it. And, hopefully I'll get a copy of this podcast so I can spread the word about your awesome podcast.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. And we'll chat soon.
All right. Sounds good. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Bye-bye.
Bye. You've been listening to the Q.A.C. Team Podcast with your host, Charles Luttrell. Connect with us on the web at QACteam.com, Facebook and Instagram at QAC.team. Thanks for listening.